Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Brothers-in-law. And on this channel, we discuss police-involved incidents that occur around the country, and we give our analysis on whether or not the way these police officers acted was it how a reasonable officer would conduct themselves. We also take a look at the actions of citizens to see if they followed our acronym of CALM, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Would that their situation had turned out differently. Now we both know and understand and realize that everybody's not going to agree with us. I mean, particularly because we're former police officers, and there's a lot of people out there who hate police officers and don't care less of what we may have to say. But our objective of this is just to give you some clarity of how these things unfold and why they may unfold the way they did, based on our experience and training and what Mike and I have gone through over the years. I'm a former Virginia State police officer, 7 years of service. There you go, Mike. And
Hey,
and
yes,
also a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, 21 years of service. And just popping on is Mr. Mike. What's going on, Doc?
what's going on? Had some technical difficulties there, but I'm good now. Up and running. Good to be back for another show. Stacy,
Yeah.
I see you. Goat, I see you. You know what I'm saying? I'm retired police officer, 26 years, Northern California. I'm also a 6-year Army veteran, and we are here with another one today to tell you what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
Critique City.
the interesting thing about this being former military, particularly in the Navy, I've had my share of drinking in public and having my fair share of interacting with law enforcement. And as you will see in this video, as I look at this video and reflect, I can at least stand here today and proudly say, I never was this guy right here, man. I mean, I was that fun and happy, joyous, drunk back in the day that just loved to party and have
Wasn't looking for no trouble.
no trouble whatsoever, man. But we titled this video "Mastering the Art of Mishaps: 18-year-old's Epic Fail in Drunk Chronicles," because it's funny how it just I really shouldn't say funny. At the end, by the end, it really becomes very sad how this guy conducted himself. But it is a lesson. It is a lesson to these young folks, and we'll get into all that, the do's and don'ts of drinking in public. But first, as always, please head over to our merch shop, Brothers-in-law. .myspreadshop.com. Pick up a nice little Brothers-in-law t-shirt to help support the channel. Would like to welcome everybody again. I see brother Wayne Fisher over there on Facebook. Welcome, my brother. And Wayne Fisher is also an old shipmate of mine, man, from back in the day in California, Alameda.
All right.
You can see him on here. But Mike, you want to go ahead and set it up?
Yeah, this happened in Illinois, and it was April. I think it was April of this year. And officers, common call, you got what looks like a teenager, right? Somebody called him in, somebody at one of these shops, probably the owner or the manager or whoever is working at one of these shops, called the police because they saw this guy drinking, and he was clearly, to them, he was intoxicated, and he was causing the disturbance in front of their business. So naturally, they call the police, common call for service that police take. You know what I'm saying? The police, they have to handle this. They have to contact this guy. They have to make sure he's okay, number one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Number two, if he's underage drinking, that's an issue that they have to address.
Yep.
Because if they let this guy go and he gets hit by a car, guess who's responsible for him? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So even though he is 18, if an officer recognizes that you are too intoxicated to care for your own safety in public, okay, then they got to take action because they don't want nothing to happen to you.
Right.
So the gist of it is, this is what takes place right here. And you're going to see how these officers handle this situation. This guy is drunk. You'll get to see that when we start the video. So here we go.
This
As always, we're gonna let it play, and then we'll stop it as necessary. And at the end, I'll put the link in the description down below if you want to watch it in its whole entirety. If you feel free to do so, but we're gonna break this down as we see fit to illustrate points.
Yeah. If you want to see it without our commentary, you can check the link yourself. But here we go.
From the manager over here, he said you're just causing some problems in front of the store. Causing some problems in front of the store? Yeah, he said you think you've been drinking alcohol as well, some penny or something like that. Walking back and forth from talking. Yeah, no, I believe. Yeah. Hey, like as right now, I don't see you causing no problems or nothing. Hey. Just talking about I'm causing problems in the neighborhood. Hey, I just got a call about it, all right? So I'm just trying to figure out, like the guy. Hold on. Yeah, so the guy told me you're just causing problems over here, said you've been drinking. It sounds like you're slurring a little to me. So I would think you've been drinking too, but as of right now, I don't see you causing any problems. So what's walking back and forth, talking on the phone. I know, I believe you, man. You got no, man. I'm not, don't try to get defensive, nothing, but have you been drinking? Hey, dude, I smell it. Hey, man, I smell liquor on your breath. There's no liquor. Dude, come on. I'm walking back and forth. I know, I believe you, but I smell the booze on your breath. I'm missing my first rodeo, man. Listen. There's... Hey. You're not breaking the law right now. I'm just trying to... I'm going to leave. Hey, let me... Come on. Come here. Let's just talk, all right? Hey, come here. Let's just talk, all right? So, hey, you got like a chef shirt on, right? You work around here? Yeah, I work over there. Where? Five Guys? Five. Okay. Something over there. I know. Hey, all right. So I'm smelling the booze on your breath, dude. How? You're not 21. I can tell. So, hold on. What's this? That's not mine, no? So the guy said you were drinking Remy. It wasn't any, it was Remy. So that's not yours. That's not mine. Okay.
Commercial.
But you get how I don't believe you, because it smells like you've been drinking. We found some Remy, which the guy said you were drinking, and now I don't know where that came from. Okay, hey, you got an idea on your kid? I do not know where that came from. Okay. Hey, you got an idea on it? Nah, you got another where that came from. What's your name? Shane. Shane? Shane? Okay, what's your last name, Shane? Colder Davis. Shane Colder Davis, that your friend just told you to tell me. All right, here. Bro, I didn't do nothing. What's wrong? I know you just... Well, that's not mine. I know you told me that already. That's not mine. Well, let me walk off. But I don't believe you. All right? Let me walk off. How you getting?
Let's pause for a second, Corey. Real quick, let me ask our viewers. Okay, this guy is clearly intoxicated.
What were your clues that he was intoxicated?
Well, whether people realize this, I don't know how much experience people have with recognizing intoxication or not, but he's talking with slow speech. He's laughing uncontrollably on his cell phone when he should be serious. You're being contacted by police and they're asking you reasonable questions. But let me ask you this, Corey, and for our viewers. Can they just let this guy walk away? And
No.
if so, what could happen if they let this guy walk away at this point? And
well, it's a safety issue and it's a liability issue, because now if you let him go and he gets hit by a car, then the family could then come back and say, well, why didn't you detain him or bring him home or arrest him or something, instead of just letting him go, because he has the potentially uh, the capabilities of hurting himself or hurting somebody else based on his actions. So you can't let him go. You can't.
And worse than that, what if he gets into a car and decides to drive home? You know
Exactly.
He's clearly intoxicated, and furthermore, they found, a bottle of liquor
Rim.
where he was, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what the reporting party said he was drinking, and he's denying that's his. So that's another clue that this guy is just pacing back and forth, getting drunk, and
Now,
talking on the phone.
let's clarify this right now. So he's not drinking and driving or anything. We're talking about drinking in public. Public intoxication would be the charge.
Right.
If they were going to charge him with something, not a DUI. Two totally different things. Nonetheless, he even though he does not have a bottle on his person, the alcohol is still in him, so they could do a blood draw, and if anything, arrest him, get a subpoena, and or a warrant, and have him do a blood draw.
Well, now see out here, our practice, if you were public intoxicated, we don't need no blood draw, or we don't need no warrant, nothing like that. It's our own observations that will tell us whether you are too intoxicated to care for your own safety. And that depends on what kind of reaction I'm getting from you. You know what I'm saying? So I could hook you up right then and there. If I think you're too intoxicated to care for your own safety, I don't need no blood draw. I don't need no warrant. All I need to do is hook you up and book you in jail.
You can, because you've met all the indicators of giving you that reason. I'm just saying you could go a step further if you want to get him back to jail and run him through the same process you would with somebody who was behind the wheel. You could, but in a dip was what we technically call drunken in public. You typically don't do that. You just take them in, you charge them with the drunken public, and as soon as they sober up, you let them go.
Yeah. I mean, and let me ask you folks, at this point, can they detain him? Do they have a right to detain him? Yeah, they do. They think he's too intoxicated. Too intoxicated to care for his own safety. They have a right to detain him right then and there. You know what I'm saying? He can't walk away. If he does, well, he can get himself hurt or killed, or he could get hit by a car, or he could jump in the car and drive away. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that could happen here. So these officers at this point are obligated to make sure this person is okay to walk away or drive. And to do that, you have to detain him, and you have to ask him questions. You have to talk to him. You have to figure out what his level of intoxication really is.
Right.
So here we go.
I just want to make sure. Dude, are you 21? If you're not 21, I can't let you walk off. Because now you're drunk. Now I've dealt with you. I don't know what that is. I can't let you go. I don't know what that is. Hey, I can't let you go, because if you're under 21, it's my responsibility to make sure you get home to a responsible adult. I'm listening, but you're not giving me any information. No. All right, listen. Go ahead.
That is not mine.
Okay.
That is not mine.
But you are drunk.
How would I be drunk if that's not mine?
You could drink something else. You could drink something else.
I'm not drinking. I'm not. Hey.
Are you 21?
I didn't drink nothing.
Listen, dude, I smell it on you. I deal with DUIs all the time. Hey.
Don't walk away, dude. Don't walk away.
Let's just go over here real quick.
You didn't even test me or nothing. You just don't follow me because you assume.
Because I have a reasonable suspicion that you're drunk. That's why.
But you didn't test me.
I don't need to test you. Officers don't need to test you under these circumstances, folks.
Let me call the real. And what's your name? Let me call the real. Hey, bro, what's the number, bro? What's your name? Bro, why are you so close? Why are you so close? What's your name? Why are you so close? What's your name? Why are you so close? Shane, if that's your real name, let's just get an idea. I'll let you out. Why are you so close?
Because I'm about to put my hands on you.
Right. I love how he tries to square up to this guy.
Shane, bro, get your employee off of stupid fry spit in his face. Hey, fry spit in your face. Stupid. Hey, do that. You don't want to do that, buddy. Hey.
Right there, you getting hooked. You getting hooked right there.
Right, yeah.
Now you hit me. All right. Okay, wait. Hey, this is enough. Hey. You see it, right? You see it, right? Dude, you just hit me.
Let me pause it right there, Corey. Let me make a point here. This one officer who's doing the most talking is really trying to de-escalate this guy. You know what I'm saying? All this talk that he's doing, he's trying hard to de-escalate this situation. Matter of fact, he even put his hand up to the other officer to say, hey, let me hold on for a sec. Before we go hands on, let me continue to try to de-escalate this guy. But keep in mind, folks, that's just him. At this point, if it were me, you'd be in cuffs and you'd be in the back of a patrol car by now. You know what I'm saying? Right when this guy starts to get aggressive, you know what I'm saying? You're already changing the situation into something that I have to control even more. What do you say, Corey?
Yeah, once he squared up to the second officer, the tall guy, that's when I would have hooked him, because right there you're already displaying the characteristics like you're going to become combative.
Yeah.
And we want to nip that in the bud before it gets way out of hand. I agree. I commend the officer for trying to de-escalate, but at some point you got to all right, man. Yes, we always say time is on our side, but at the same time, you can't let a situation get way out of hand. Right. You know what I mean? Before an officer gets hurt or he hurts himself, you have to nip it in the bud. And I think once, to me, if it were me, he was squaring up on me like that, I would have hooked him right then and there. We wouldn't even got to this part. But now you force our hands to go hands on with you, and we did everything possible to try not to get to this point.
And this is another example of how differently officers can handle situations. Some officers, they would have had him on the ground by now. Some officers, like you see this officer, he's still continuing to talk to him. But what you don't want to do is let him get to a point where he got the upper hand on you. He physically is either taking off on you or he's already starting to fight you. You don't want to let it get to that point. So when you got to go hands on, it's time to go hands on. It's time for business. You know what I'm saying? All the talking is over.
I like to know when our viewers would have put handcuffs on him. How far would you have let this go? Would you have detained him when you first made contact, or would you wait to this point here, or maybe further? At what point do you think you viewers would have placed this individual in handcuffs and detained him? We like to hear what you got to say. Drop a comment down below.
He's already showing that he's intoxicated. He's already showing that he's too intoxicated to care for his own safety, because he's getting aggressive towards law enforcement, a figure of authority. Okay. If you're willing to do that, you willing to do that with anybody, right? So it's up to the officers to control this guy. They got enough right now to arrest him for public intoxication.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything. Although this first officer, Corey, like you said, he is trying to de-escalate and trying not to let it get out of hand. But there's gonna come a point where he ain't gonna have no choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
To get off from me. Okay. All right. Hey, stand back. Hey, you're free to leave. You're not free to leave. Free to leave from what? Not free to leave. Hey. You see, bro? Hey, you gotta hang up your phone. What you talking about? Hang up your phone. Put your hands behind your back. Are you behind your back. Wow.
Wow, you's a bitch ass.
All right.
Wow. My mom's calling me and you talking about.
I believe it. You didn't answer. You didn't give me any information to go by.
What do I gotta give you information for?
Because
I gotta give you information for.
Hey, stop.
Who are you?
I'm not yelling at you.
Now here comes the angry drunk.
Please stop yelling at me.
The angry jump.
Bro, who are you to lock me up for what? Hey, you seen it, right? I ain't do nothing, right?
Now, did he really didn't do anything, or did he do something? What did he do wrong?
Hey,
bitch ass.
gotta relax.
You arrested me for.
You're not arresting me, okay? Dude, you swung at me when I tried to calm you down.
I swung at you.
You pushed my arm out of the way.
I swung at you when pushing.
You pushed my arm out of the way. All right.
Wow.
Roll it on you.
I swung at you when pushing.
Do you have an idea on you?
Wow. You're a
You have an idea.
you and your wife.
Come on. All right.
Talk about swinging at you. I'm trying to touch you off my wife.
Hey.
Bitch ass.
Hey.
You.
All right, Corey. Now, for me, if I was the officer, I'm not gonna let him get to that point. You getting cuffed, you getting put in the back of the car, and you getting a spit mask put on you. Okay, because you up here spitting on me, I'm not gonna let you spit on me.
Yeah.
So you getting a mask put on you, folks. This has turned into a welfare check, basically, to a now you being arrested because you're too intoxicated to be out here acting a fool. Okay. That's what it boils down to. And when, as officers, I can't let you be out here acting a fool while you're intoxicated. Okay. Right. Because I can't let you be a danger to somebody else, you know, or to yourself for that matter. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you said?
Oh yeah, he definitely would have got hooked up, you know, a long time ago. But now up to this point, I don't even care. You don't gotta tell me what your name is. I don't need to know any of your pedigree information right now. You going to jail.
Yeah.
And I hooked him for drunk in public. And Vita started out, what do you take when you come drunk in public and fail to identify yourself to law enforcement? And we're gonna take a ride downtown. That's where we are right now. I'm not going through all this back and forth with you. At this point, my niceness is done and over, and that's not even a proper word. My niceness is gone out the window with you.
Now let's flip it, Corey. Let's flip it. What if this officer would have contacted him and he would have had a completely different demeanor about it? Yeah, officer, I've been drinking. I might have had a little bit too much. I probably have been a little loud. Can I get a ride home or something like that? Can I have my mother come and pick me up or whatever it is? Do you think that officer would have obliged and said, okay, dude, you know, we just don't want you out here acting a fool. So let me get you somewhere safe so that you can be okay.
So well, in this case here, yes, that's what would have happened because that's the officer that was really doing the going beyond the call of duty for the de-escalation of the situation. That I believe that's what his intention was, because I think he also mentioned to here in a second we'll see a citizen chime in and he's talking to him kind of slightly off camera, and he's like, yeah, that's all I wanted to do was give him a ride home. So yes, and that's the key. That's the thing with the acronym CALM. Like if he had followed the acronym CALM, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Yeah, it's probably likely they would have just gave the kid, hey man, you can't drink, you're underage, blah blah blah, we're gonna take you home. Or hey, can we call your mom or call an adult over 21 come and get you, and let it go at that.
Yeah, that's very possible that could have happened, folks.
And if it were me there, that's exactly what and I've done that before with drunks who they were slightly just above the legal limit. Yes, I could have took them in to lock up. So, but when you give them that 20-minute wait time there before you give them the intoxicalizer test inside there, their level would have came down, and I wouldn't have got a good sample. So yeah,
you mean a DUI, right?
yeah, for a DUI, yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, I would, I would have called a family member out to come get them, or anybody over 21 with that valid driver's license and come get you off the road. But I'm gonna tow your car. You're gonna feel some kind of pain out of this, but I'm saving you a whole bunch of money. You know what I mean? So here's your option: go to jail, and end up spending $3,500, or allow me to get somebody out here, a family member out here, and your car is getting towed, but it's only gonna cost you $250 to get your car back. Choice is yours. I'll call my mama. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. But you ain't driving no more tonight.
Now keep in mind, we talking about DUIs here, but in this case,
it's same way. I'm just saying the same way.
Well, yeah, I hear you. Out here, we didn't do no intoxicators on no public intoxication. We look.
I was just talking about DUI.
Yeah.
I was talking about DUI. Now you talking about in this type of situation? Yeah, I'd have done the same thing minus intoxicalizer.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you gonna go popping off at the mouth, it's gonna get handled a whole lot differently than if you just say, "Hey, I'm sorry, officer. I had too much. You know what I'm saying? I would appreciate a ride home or something like that. Or can I call somebody to come get me?" It very well could have turned out just like you said, Corey. Yeah, I'll call somebody for you. Have them come pick you up. I'm gonna stay with you until they come pick you up, because I am responsible for you. You are detained, whether I give you a ride or not, right? So I'm not just going to walk away and let you wait here by yourself. Folks, it is a crime to be too intoxicated in public, okay?
In public, yeah.
It's a crime to be too intoxicated in public. If you can show that you were unable to care for yourself because of your level of intoxication in public, you could be arrested for that. Okay. It's the same thing. Well, it is what it is. You can't be drinking in public to a point where you can't care for yourself. And you don't have to be falling down drunk to be too intoxicated to care for yourself. You don't have to be, slurring your words, falling down drunk, can't stand up, can't talk. You don't have to be that drunk. All you have to show is that your actions show us that you are unable to care for yourself due to your level of intoxication. Okay, that's all we need to show. Okay, and we don't need no chemical tests. We don't need no, we don't need to take you in and give you a breathalyzer. We don't need to give you no pass device, preliminary alcohol screening test. We don't have to do any of that. We just have to look at you and tell that you are, too intoxicated to care for your own safety. Okay. But this dude was asking to be arrested, Corey. You know what I'm saying? He was going off, liquid courage. You can't do this. You don't need to identify me. You arrested me for no reason. No. You too intoxicated, and you showing that you can't care for yourself. Okay.
That's right. All right, keep it moving, bro.
All right.
Trying to figure out. Bro, you didn't have nothing to do with me, bro. What are you talking about? Did. With what? You've been drinking. You know what? All right. Was I causing problems? No, right? He needs. Wow. Listen. All right, go ahead. Okay. Say what you need to say, bro. Listen. I didn't do nothing. I talked. All right. Say what I want. No, that's what I'm trying to do. Is figure out. Listen. Why am I handcuffed? Why am I handcuffed? Why am I handcuffed? Yes. Ask him. Right now. Ask him. Take him home. No. Ask him right now. That's what he's going to get your answer. Right now. Ask him. Right now. Ask him. What is your name? Hey. We want to take you home, but you got to tell us your name. You put me in handcuffs for nothing, right? Listen. If you can talk to me. Do you
need to take me home for?
Clearly intoxicated.
All right, whatever.
You smell like alcohol. You're acting erratic. You're slurring your words.
What does that have to do with you? What does that have to do with you?
Okay? I need to know how old.
What does that have to do with you? What does that have to do with you?
Relax.
Okay, this dude is having every opportunity to be given a ride home. This citizen comes up saying, look, I just wanted to be taken home. Well, technically, it's out of the citizen's hands right now. The way this guy is behaving, you going to jail. You ain't going home. You ain't going nowhere but to jail. You popping off so much that, hey, you done already made my job difficult, more difficult than it had to be at this point. So might as well take you to jail. What say you, Gord?
Yeah, and let this young man be thankful that he got these type of officers.
Yeah, because another officer would have been the way.
Had he got a hothead officer, or maybe if he got, a racist officer, you just don't know what type of officer you're going to get. Not saying all officers are racist.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But had he got some other officers that were more aggressive, it could have ended differently for this young man. He could have been slammed face first into the ground by now.
Yeah.
So it's he needs to be thankful that he got these guys who are very, 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 very patient with them. And I also think because of the climate in which we live in now, with law enforcement, that now you can see that standoffness that officers are having, right? Years ago, they wouldn't have gone this far with him. As soon as he, started acting crazy and started walking away, they would have hooked him up, way before, they even got to this point. So it's a difference in time, how they used to do things versus how they're interacting with the citizens now, and you still at this point don't know if this guy's got any weapons on him. Right.
That's true. You don't. I didn't see him search him. So
right. No, they haven't searched him yet. So you don't know what he has on his person. And you're letting him, do all this walking away from you and not knowing if he has a weapon on him. So, and that's why it's important sometimes, Mike, just to go ahead, and detain him right away and get your Terry pat down out of the way and just, put your mindset at ease and put them at ease. All right, now we can move forward with the investigation.
Yeah, I agree. This dude is too intoxicated to even recognize what he should be doing at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Let's keep going.
He's definitely on that liquid courage, goat.
Yep. Here we go.
Because you're a faggot too. I hope your mom sleep. Stop. Wow. Hey, stop. Stop it. Yeah. Get that look on your face. Big time.
Weapons on you? Do you have any weapons on you?
What are you reaching for?
Go ahead and check nothing. Bitch. Stupid Caucasian bitch ain't worth nothing but a look. Search my left side, you bitch.
Put that over his face. Dude, you're making this harder.
Bro, I don't got nothing on me. Jesus Christ.
Relax.
Do you still think he ain't drunk?
I hope y'all are telling what I did, right?
We telling him.
Grab the Remy. This is all your property, okay? It's in the bag. You better stop. You are not going to bang your head against the window, okay? I want you to know. Hey, no. I want you to know. You don't have no power outside this law. You don't have no power outside this law. You don't have no power outside this law. You don't have no key to fucking a woman.
Stop it.
Let me lick him.
It's almost like you sound demonic, man. Like
It's all right.
it's more than just that liquid courage going on.
Yeah, he might have something going on more than alcohol.
I'm not going to.
Forget it. Hey, forget it.
Yeah, it goes very sad.
Hey, let me call Soul. See if you didn't lock me up for nothing. That's the crazy part. Did he bite you? You all right? Did you get the Remy? No, I didn't. Could you go grab it? It's right over there, next to that cup. He's 18.
You can't get nothing over 200 times.
We just found him.
He's 18.
Your mom knows you. All right, here we go. You think you're just so white, full of power, right? Legs out.
And you go to sleep on the ride to the precinct.
Look, he's still fighting and spitting and stuff. They must don't have spit masks because that wasn't a spit mask they had on.
Hey, dude, easy. Stop spitting. Hey, can we get a spit mask now?
There you go.
These are white chicks. White bitch never went through nothing. You too. Y'all too. You think you suck? Let's go. You think you suck? Oh, you up? Real world. You gotta search it again. Yeah. I gotta get this jacket on. I gotta get this jacket off. Control him. Use him. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Soft.
If you only doing this because I always have a weapon on me, bro. So,
Alright, I got it. You got a key? I got his arm. That's not what you want to do. That's not what you want to do. I'll shoot the fuck out of you. I got his arm. Hold on. We got you over here. You got any earrings? Dude. Relax. There's 4 of us here. Take a breath. Who you are? Okay. All right. Hold on. Let's go back to the front. Yep. You free, buddy. Give me this arm, dude. Roll him towards me. Man, we don't want to hurt your shoulders, dude. There we go. Put your hands behind your back.
Relax.
All right, roll him for me. All right, ready? Yep. To the butt. 2, 3, up. Watch your feet.
Stand up.
Sorry, I'm gonna just grab. I got feet.
Look, he can't even stand up right because he acting up so much.
Yeah.
Number 1. Sit down.
are you gonna sit me in a
Where y'all at weak? Like y'all at weak? Nah, this is fat, dude. Strap me down to the bed. Like you told.
charged with felony aggravated battery to an officer ×3 and misdemeanor resisting, obstructing an officer.
Well,
Yeah, you
that's
want
what,
to answer that question?
that's and you know what? These are the type of people sometimes officers deal with on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying?
Daily.
People ask, why does it take 4 officers to do that one little dude? Well, now you see why it took 4 officers to do that one little dude. Spitting, fighting, resisting, all from a, look, man, we know you've been drinking too much. Let's figure out how to get you taken care of. But instead, he sends that a whole different direction, popping off at the mile. F you can't do that. That's what I'm getting. So that's what these officers got to deal with
on every day.
Yep.
Every day. And like you said, Mike, and I'm glad you said it, that's why it takes multiple officers. And it's for your safety, to ensure that you're handled safely, and to quickly get you under control. And it's sad these things have to happen, but this is the everyday life of a police officer. This is what you sign up for. So you're not doing this job for the money, right?
Yeah. Anthony White says, should any police officer be expected to handle this kind of behavior? Unfortunately, yeah, they are expected to handle this type of behavior. And there's different degrees, Corey, as we know, of handling this type of behavior. And all of them are acceptable, all the way up until it's excessive versus it's too little. You know what I'm saying? People need to understand there's more than one ways of handling this dude. This guy actually happened to get officers that were very patient with him.
I mean, even to the point, Mike, when they were inside the precinct there, they gently put him down on the floor. I'm like, well, I mean, that were back in the day. I mean, his face would have kissed that face. Get your head down, right? And maybe that would have, knocked some sense into him. Like, oh, shoot, get up the next day. It's like, oh my God, right? But you can see now the difference in policing and the way that now, not every case happens this way. So don't all you haters get out here and just start, blasting on it. But a lot of officers are going this way. They're being extra precautious now, because nobody wants to get hit with any type of a lawsuit. And so, hey, and did this kid learn his lesson? I hope he does, man. Maybe, I don't know. I hope he learns his lesson. He sees the video out here on the internet of him acting a fool, and he learns from this. That's my hope. But this is the way we're going now.
Yeah, I mean, when I did the Job Corps, I didn't worry about being sued so much, because cops get sued every day. You know what I'm saying? But here's what you need to worry about as a cop today. What if this kid stopped breathing right then and there? Yeah. Then they be looking at them officers for causing that, right? They will be looking at them officers to say, you were responsible for his death. You know what I'm saying? When these officers, as you can see, they didn't do nothing excessive. They didn't do nothing unreasonable. They met this dude with the kind of force he needed to be met with. Yeah. Right. But if he would have died, then these officers could have been criminally charged. That's the difference today that you didn't have before. And that's what I would be afraid of, being criminally charged for something that I'm just doing my job. I'm just trying to subdue this guy the best way I know how. You know what I'm saying? But he stops breathing and he dies. Well, guess what? Now I'm on a hot seat, and that it ain't worth it no more.
And no matter how they would have handled him.
No matter how they would handle it, he would have been, that officer would have been on a hot seat, probably criminally charged to make the community feel better. And not to mention that he was black and the officers was white.
And somebody would have said, well, they should have just let him go. No, you can't. He's drunk.
He's drunk. You let him go. And right. You know what I'm saying? It's a mess today. But
It is. But you see how, officers are really being precautious. Some, not always. We Mike and I are well aware of there's some idiot officers out there. We're 100% we're aware of that. In fact, we'll be talking about two next week of incident that just happened a couple of days ago. All right. So there are idiot officers out there, no doubt, but they don't outweigh the good officers that are out there. In my humble opinion. And these officers here, these men and women here, displayed that, right? I mean, they went beyond, I'd say, the call of duty and how they treated this young man. I mean, they treated that young man as if they were, their child, getting arrested and being, drunk and stuff. So I commend them how they handled themselves in this one, Mike. But the young man said, I believe if he had followed the acronym of CALM, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on, I'm pretty confident saying those guys, especially the initial responding officer, the one that was doing most of the talking, he would have gave that young man a ride home, and he would not have been put in jail, and he wouldn't have these charges.
Probably.
Right. So and that's where we go back to, Mike, like we always say, it's a two-way street, right? We expect the officers to act a certain way, right? Mm-hmm. But you know what? The officers expect the citizens to act a certain way when we encounter each other, right? It has to be a balance there. I mean, I have to come with you with some type of respect, but at the same time, I expect respect back from you, the law enforcement officer. I'm a man. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna tell you I'm wrong. If I gotta go to jail, screw it. I gotta go to jail. I'm not gonna sit here and fight you and make things worse, right? And get more charges. But that's the difference between reasonable people. And that's why we look at it this way. Is this what a reasonable officer would do? And is this what a reasonable citizen would do? Right? Clearly he wasn't. This young man was not being reasonable, right? From the initial contact all the way until he was locked into the holding cell. He was not acting as a reasonable person, and he was not in his right frame of mind. Therefore, he could not be acting like a reasonable person.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things. This is just a quick look at some of the things that the types of calls, the type of people that officers have to deal with on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean, and who knows how the rest of their shift went after this? You know what I mean?
Right.
Was this in the beginning of the shift, or was this on the end of the shift? I would hope that was at the end of the shift, because once you finish that, man, I'm done. I'm going home. This was, you know what I mean? This is but it was at the beginning of the shift.
Like, 9 more hours to go.
Yeah, right. You're like, oh my God, how much longer do I got? You know what I mean? And
it's gonna be a long day.
Right. It sets the tone how the rest of the shift is going to go. So, but let us know what you think, folks. I mean, how would you have handled this if you were the law enforcement officers rolling up on this young man like this, intoxicated, right? Would you have detained him right away? Would you just let him go? But think about, the repercussions of that, of you just letting him go just because, oh, he ain't hurt nobody, we're just going to go ahead and let him go, right? Then it gets back that you had contact with him and you let him go, and he gets hurt himself or ends up killing somebody else because he gets into a car that's around the corner that you don't know about, and he drives and hits a pedestrian or something. So, let us know what you have done. How would you have handled this? Also, please, if this is your first time watching us, hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us, and help us spread the message of staying calm. Again, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Because we believe, Mike and I both believe, that no matter what type of officer you get, if you follow the acronym of CALM, it makes it harder for that officer to do something stupid to you. It's hard for me to slap you upside the head and throw you down to the ground if I ask you to sit down and you sit down. Well, I can't throw you down. You're doing what I'm asking you to do, right? Or keep your hands out your pockets or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you want to go home, whether it's going home, which is the move on portion, or you're going to jail, right? One and two, but at least you're still alive. You're still functional. You're not broke up or anything. Your pride may be hurt because you got to go to jail, but oh well, at least you're able to fight in court if you feel that you were done wrong.
Right. And keep in mind, folks, you don't get to decide whether or not you go to jail or not. When the officer determines that he's going to arrest you and take you to jail, you don't get to control that. You don't. It's not your decision to say no, you ain't, and start fighting and resisting. No, you fight your battles in court. If you got to go to jail, if that officer thinks he has to take you to jail, he gonna take you to jail. So, keep that in mind.
Yeah, he's gonna take you to jail. But this young man, I mean, he got what he rightfully deserved. He going to jail. And I think, what was his charges, Mike? 3 counts of assault and battery.
Battery on an officer and
battery on an officer. And a
else.
couple more. I mean, so which that's another whole story too. That's no longer a felony. I mean, it's a misdemeanor now, but either or, it's still wrong. And he shouldn't have had those charges had he just listened and got a ride home from the police officer. So with that being said, folks, we thank all y'all for watching this evening. It was a great topic, great discussion. We'll be back next week. I don't know what was wrong. A couple viewers sent us videos to check out on Instagram, but for whatever reason, we couldn't open that link. But if you can resend it to us with a different link, if you know there's a YouTube channel showing that video, please resend it back to us so we can take a look at it. Check out next week. Next week's definitely, we got some officers we're going to be talking about next week that if you haven't seen it out there in the news already, you're going to see it. Acted very, very foolishly. And Mike and I are going to talk about those jokers next week. And thankfully, I'll go ahead and put this out there. They're no longer on the force right away. They recognize their mistake themselves and pretty much put their own resignation in. So definitely check us out next week when we talk about that one. Again, if you got something you want us to check out, send it over to our email, brothers-in-law21@gmail.com, and we'll check it out and hopefully get it on the show. If you'd like to be on the show with us, please hit us up over at brothers-in-law21@gmail.com and get on the show with us and break down the video. Give us your opinion as a citizen, what you think. Good, bad, different, or whatever. We don't care what your political views are, whatever. We just want to hear your view and do it live with us. So hit us up at brothers-in-law21@gmail.com. Mike, final word.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in, and stay tuned for another one next week. And you guys have a safe weekend.
Yeah, safe weekend and be safe. I hear we getting snow this weekend, so I don't know. God bless y'all. Take care. We'll see y'all next week.
All right.